Our coverage of the 2025 NFL Draft continues here on Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you, and Philadelphia adding to their secondary with the final pick in the second round with a player who I had mocked to the Eagles in one of my mocks in the pre-draft process, and a player I've seen you all in the comment section, all of the real ones out there, who Eagles fans really like. Philadelphia selecting Andrew Mukuba, the safety out of Texas, who started his college career at Clemson and then transferred to Texas. And I'm very fascinated by this pick. And this was a position of need for the Eagles. They missed out on Malachi Starks in the first round as he went to the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, by the way, how about what they've done so far in this draft? Malachi Starks in round one. Then they get Mike Green, edge rusher out of Marshall, in round two. Excellent value with both of those players. And I think that they get two top 15, top 20 players in this draft class. But Howie Roseman has never taken a safety in the first 50 picks in his career as a general manager. Second and third round is where he's targeted a lot of safeties. And Mukuba is a very interesting player for a variety of reasons. This past year, he had a Pro Football Focus grade of 90. That was top 5 among all DBs in college football. He also has a long track record of making plays on the football, 28 pass breakups in 50 games and 43 starts in his college career. Mukuba fits what the Eagles are looking for on that back end. He might be a little bit undersized, but you can get away with that in this spacing out, offensive-laden, pass-happy era of football. And his lack of size, he makes up for it with the high football IQ. He reacts very quickly in coverage. He has a very good feel for what's happening. Even though he has that cornerback size at 5'11", 186 pounds, he can really run. 4.45 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. The closing speed really does show up on tape. He seemed more comfortable at Texas playing deep rather than playing in that box safety role. And so the Eagles are looking to replace C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who, when he came to Philadelphia originally in 2022, was a slot nickel corner who played a lot in the box. And then the Eagles converted him to safety, but they used him in that versatile role where he played in the slot, around the line, and deep safety. Mukuba is a player who doesn't really like to play in the box a lot. He's more of that read and react safety who can read, diagnose, make plays on the football, come through with interceptions and pass breakups as that deep center field type of safety who plays on that third level, who really thrives against the pass. Now, he can make plays against the run because the football IQ and the character is certainly there, and he sniffs out some plays. But I like this pick for Philadelphia. You have a need at safety. He makes plays on the football. I like his pairing alongside Reed Blankenship because of both of their abilities to make game-changing plays which can alter the outcome of games and come through with clutch plays. How many times has Reed Blankenship, from that safety spot, had a monster pick to seal a game or made a clutch interception? Andrew Mukuba is a very similar player who has that similar style. So now Philadelphia has two ball-hawking safeties on that back end for Vic Fangio. Plenty more to get to here on the show, but I do want you to grade the pick down in the comments section. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know. Some people think this is a reach. I had a third or fourth round grade on Mukuba, but you can see why the Eagles like him, right? Smart, intelligent, he can run. He can shoot out of a cannon when driving downhill on run fits. He has a really good feel for kind of the run game geometry with really good pursuit angles to make plays there from that third level. So while you don't want to really use him around the box, he comes from that safety spot to make plays upfield and he can really read and react very well. Drops his pads to tackle low, to take the feet out of ball carriers. Again, that helps him with the lack of size at under 190 pounds. He plays with really good route recognition to read the eyes of the quarterback, read what receivers are doing, read the offensive and passing concepts to anticipate on receiver breaks. And that was proven by what he did with his pass breakup numbers year by year. 7 pass breakups to start as a freshman at Clemson. Year 2 at Clemson, 4 pass breakups. Year 3 at Clemson, 6. And then how about this? Texas was running a NFL-style defense. He had 11 pass breakups with Texas this past year at the safety spot. He's not playing corner. And he had 5 interceptions as well. A concern I do have, the lack of size, missing time. He was a freshman All-American at Clemson, ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he played 13 games with 10 starts. That's pretty impressive for Dabo Swinney. But then he missed 2 games in 2022, elbow, knee. Missed 2 games in 2023. And then he ended up playing 15 games with 12 starts at Texas this past year and making it to the college football playoff as the Longhorns made a deep run. Here's what the Athletics' Dane Brugler had to say about Mukuba. His lack of size will be more noticeable against NFL competition, both in coverage and run support, but he brings energy, instincts, and play speed to the secondary. He has the mentality and talent to compete for a starting role at free safety. And for that reason, I think that he has an opportunity to start right away as a rookie. We're talking about a player that in college played in 50 games and started 43. And this is pretty wild too. Philadelphians are really going to like this given the blue-collar nature, bring your lunch pail to work type of mentality of the city. He said he left Clemson, sorry Chip, who went to Clemson, because he wasn't being pushed enough. His former defensive coordinator, Brent Venables, said he's easy to coach and cold-blooded on the field. He's a self-starter and really ambitious. Here's another thing with him as well. While he's very experienced playing as a safety in college, he can contribute on special teams right away. Made plays on kickoff return and punt coverages in 2024. So it looks as though it's going to be a competition between him and Sidney Brown to get that starting spot. I would not rule out maybe signing Justin Simmons to a veteran, short-term, cheap contract. More to get to here on this selection of Mukuba on Eagles Now, but first let's get to our sponsor, our friends at Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the DFS industry. That's why millions of people use the app, and that's why Prize Picks has handed out billions of dollars in awarded winnings. They also have great deals. Right now, you can win up to 2,000 times your money, and you get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Here's how it goes. You choose more or less on 2+ players and their stat projections for a game or a season, and you can win some big-time money. Run your game with Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. You can withdraw your winnings all within the app. And here's how it operates. For instance, we're in the midst of the draft here. So let's take a look at some rookie projections as part of our lineup. Cam Ward, less on the passing yards of just under 3,200. Ashton Genty, I think the Raiders are going to run him into the ground during that rookie contract, and they think that they can win right now. So more than 1,124.5 rushing yards. And then Travis Hunter, more than 699.5 receiving yards. He's playing alongside Brian Thomas, and hopefully Liam Cohen can bring the best out of Trevor Lawrence. So it's daily fantasy sports made easy. Pick 2 or more players, choose more or less on their projected stats. Run your game with Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. Pick Prize Picks. Head to prizepicks.com/CLNS. You know, as far as the concerns with Mukuba, it's the lack of size. He's a little bit undersized. He has that body type of a corner. He has shorter arms, small hands. That can affect his tackling ability, potentially, at the next level. The lack of mass is something that could impact him making physical plays. But I will say, when C.J. Gardner-Johnson was coming out of Florida, he was kind of that tweener as well. He was a little bit smaller, but he did play a lot bigger than his size. And I want to look at C.J. Gardner-Johnson's playing weight right now because we've seen him lay some hits. He's 5'11", 210. That's what they list him as. At the NFL Combine, Mukuba was 186. At his pro day, he was 194. The frame won't allow him to add that much more weight, but I imagine Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has gotten bigger over time. And while he can lay big hits, and we've seen it as an Eagle, we've seen it as a Saint, we saw it in his lone season as a Lion, he also has been injured a lot because of that lack of size. And so, yeah, that's definitely a real concern with Mukuba. Sometimes he will struggle in 50-50 scenarios because some of these big wide receivers will be able to muscle him and rip the ball away from him because of the shorter arms, the smaller hands, and again, that lack of desired size. But he will bring energy. He will bring instincts to Philadelphia. He will bring play speed. We're talking about a 4-4 safety here who's a ball-hawking, instinctual player who plays with a lot of feel. And the good thing is, under Vic Fangio, if you want to be pushed, you want that hard coaching, which is why he left Clemson, Vic Fangio is going to give you that. That is for sure. And he has the talent on top of those diagnosing skills and the ball skills to compete for a starting role at that safety position. So is it a little bit of a reach at 64? Yeah, maybe. But there was a run on tight ends in round 2. All of them really went off the board outside of Gunnar Helm and Harold Fannin, who just went early round 3 to the Cleveland Browns. So you couldn't go tight end. Mason Taylor, I think, went 43 early. Or no, somewhere in the early 40s to the New York Jets. I think that was at 42. And so the Eagles couldn't go tight end. They would have reached, I think, for a Harold Fannin. I don't think that he was worthy of a second-round pick, even in early third. And outside of that, the Eagles don't have a lot of needs. But safety is one of those needs. He fits the building. He fits the culture. And I think Vic Fangio will really be a fan of a player like Andrew Mukuba. Most importantly, it got producer Chip's stamp of approval. And producer Chip knows ball. He watched and scouted Mukuba while he was at Clemson. So who should the Eagles draft next? As you saw, back on the clock at 96 in this third round. As always, join the conversation down in the comments section. We always appreciate you for watching the show.